minutes to go in normal time. Liverpool 3-0. Corner taken quickly, Origi! Yeah!
Hello and welcome to the Redscast podcast. Another disappointing result, as always, at the minute. I'm joined by Ste, as always, as well. 0-0 with the Manx. It's sad, isn't it? Especially when I honestly feel as though we should have won the game. I feel like we absolutely dominated them.
We did. To be honest, I've just been having a little scan through all the stats from the game, just to give myself a little recap, because I kind of deleted the whole game out of my brain the minute it finished. I couldn't handle it. We had twice the amount of shots, twice the amount of possession, twice the amount of passes, higher pass accuracy. Strangely enough, twice the amount of fouls. Can't imagine why with that ref. Twice the amount of corners. We absolutely dominated them, and we dominated them 0-0, which is so frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because they remained 3 points clear. Then obviously Leicester won yesterday, so they were top. I'm not too sure what score City's getting on. I'll double check that now.
It's 0-0. It's currently 0-0.
1-0.
Oh, they scored.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva's just scored. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy when you actually look at the numbers. I mean, again, 17 shots, 3 on target. What's going wrong? Because I don't think any part of that team was bad against United, apart from the front three, just can't finish, which is mad.
It's crazy considering the history of that front three. Like, Bobby's finishing, I don't know what's happening, but he was appalling with his finishing. His composure's gone. Something's not going for him. I didn't see a lot of his link-up play either, to be honest with you, because sometimes when his finishing's not the best, you tend to have a look at his all-round game, and his all-round game didn't seem to be there either for me.
Yeah, it feels like it's been off quite a lot. And I mean, Carragher said something on Sky about it feels like he's going to be the first one to go out the front three. And you know what? It's heartbreaking seeing him decline, if that's the word I'm looking for, because...
It is. No, it's a perfect word. He seems to be on a decline.
And he was one of my favourite players probably to wear the red shirt in my lifetime anyway. He's unbelievable, and it just I don't know if maybe he needs Jota to come back to give him some competition to get him back in form, sort of thing. Because at the minute, the front three are probably thinking, even if we had a bad game, we're not getting dropped.
Exactly. Because if you look at the backup, you've got Divock Origi, no comment. You've got Shaqiri, who seems to be playing himself into the team, to be honest with you, at the minute. But he's getting more of a midfield role, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then you've got Minamino, who, no matter what Klopp says, he clearly doesn't fancy him at the minute.
Yeah, it's crazy, Minamino, because he scored in the Palace game and just hasn't had a game since, like in the Prem, it's mad. But I mean, he was awfully poor against Villa's kids, so I can understand why he didn't get a sniff in at the United game. But you know what? The lineup, it surprised a lot of people. But I feel as though Jordan Henderson made up for how bad he was in the last time he played centre back. I think it was against West Brom or Newcastle.
Anyway, yeah, it wasn't good. But against United, defence was not the issue because they didn't give us a lot to worry about. We were solid enough at the back. The small opportunities they did create, I thought we dealt with very well. But you say just going forward, something's not. I don't know what it is, because the midfield seemed to be clicking. It was just that final third. It just wasn't happening.
I mean, I was excited to see the midfield of Thiago, Shaqiri and Wijnaldum. Really excited, but I feel as though, was it Jones who came on for Shaqiri? I would have left Shaqiri on because to be fair, I thought Thiago was going to get sent off. he was on thin ice, wasn't he? Yeah, so I thought he would have came off, but he was. Some of the media outlets this week have been saying bad things about him, and I think he was our man of the match. Out of the Liverpool team, I think he was man of the match. I think he was man of the match. Who actually got man of the match? I can't even remember now.
Maybe Fabinho. I don't know. But Thiago was fantastic. As I say, he had my heart in my mouth with a few of the tackles he was putting in. Have you seen that picture of him? He's going to be the new internet meme now, isn't he? With that look that he gave the referee.
I think he's finally been welcomed into English refereeing. And a game against United. I mean, the referee was so poor. We can't do the podcast after that game without talking about in the 45th minute and 54-second, Sadio Mane's through on goal and he blows up. Yeah. And a minute of other time, it's 6. I mean, in them 6 seconds, you can score the goal. And if you look at there's a picture where you can see the hair is on the edge of his 6-yard box, I think. So Mane could have just lobbed him, took him on, anything it could have happened. And what does my head in is, if you think back, I can't remember what game it was. United had a game where the penalty got given after the whistle had blown for full time and they had to come back on the pitch and take it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was away to, might have been Brighton or someone like that. Yeah,
I can't that. Like, even the referees, they have on like the telly and stuff. I can't think of what his name is now, the baldy-headed fella. He was saying he can't understand for the life of him why that whistle went then.
No, I mean, if you look at a few of the incidents earlier on in the first half where they went through on goal, but it was offside, clearly offside. Must have been 2 or 3 times, and they just played it on.
Yeah.
Like, they played it on, even though it was clearly offside. I think we said this last week or the week before. Why even bother having the linesman there?
They just don't even care.
They don't care. And as for that, I mean, 4 or 5 seconds before the final whistle, it's a minimum of 1 minute.
Yeah.
Minimum.
It was that was in the first half. I can't think anything else happened within that minute to extend it, but it wasn't a minute played, and he shouldn't be allowed to officiate a game for a while because it wasn't just that decision. I mean, if you cast your mind back to, there was one with Harry Maguire and Salah, and Harry Maguire got a foul.
Yes. Yeah.
If you watch the whole clip, Maguire's like got his arms round and pulling him, and eventually Salah goes down. Probably far too late, but then it gets given to Maguire, and I was just sat there watching it thinking, how on earth has he thought that's Maguire's foul?
Maguire
process it.
Maguire conned the ref there because I've seen that clip a few times, and Salah's not on his back, but he's behind him trying to get the ball. Now Maguire's got his hand around the side, pulling Salah into him, and Salah's just trying to get the ball. Maguire backs his backside back into Salah, and then falls over and makes it look like Salah's jumped into them. I mean, the ref got conned on that one, to be honest.
And then there was a corner where Maguire, I think it's on Fabinho. Maguire's basically hugging him from behind, and you can see he's got his hands interlocked like this as well.
Yeah.
So it's Fabinho because if you lock your hands hard enough, it's hard to get out of it if you've got your arms around somebody.
You can't even get a jump.
Yeah, and that didn't get given. I feel as though Liverpool need to be more savvy in terms of going down when there is contact, because every other team's doing it. So why aren't we? I mean, I understand we play a fair game, but everyone's doing it. And the amount of decisions that have went against Liverpool in recent weeks, there's definitely an agenda against us, and I don't care what anybody says.
It feels like it, but it would, because they're the only games we're watching. So that's all that we're seeing. We don't see what goes on in the other games for the most part. But as a Liverpool fan watching Liverpool games, it feels like we are playing against 12 men every single game.
Because I feel as though when fans are in the ground, obviously they're shouting for decisions, every other decision, but I feel like it gives the referees more inkling to go and look at the decision.
Yeah, more pressure.
Now it's just like, well, I don't want to give that. I can deal with the players moaning at me, because if they moan at me hard enough, I'll just give them a card. And I just feel as though we're getting robbed week after week. Like, that game was probably one of the most frustrating games of football I've watched, and we went into it and I was thinking, like, I just don't want to get beat. And when it got to like the 88th minute and stuff, and when Cavani came on the 68th minute, I was just thinking, a draw is better than nothing. A draw is better than nothing. It just keeps them 3 points ahead, and that's all I kept thinking. But the more and more it went on, I was thinking, well, no, we've absolutely battered these. Like, I feel as though if Jota played, we would have won.
Yeah, that's so hard to say, isn't it? But I think just having Jota in and around the squad lifts the other players, because, as we said before, them players just don't feel like there's any pressure on them to perform.
Yeah.
So even having him in and around the squad, they're going to be looking over the shoulder thinking, I've got to perform here or he's in my place.
I think he's walking into the team, to be honest. because he can play left, right, or down the middle. I think either position he's going to walk into it, and then I do think maybe Bobby and Salah will be the ones who go this summer, especially because the Mbappe rumours are massively like ramping up now to the point that I am starting to believe that Kylian Mbappe will play for Liverpool.
There was another one that me and you spoke about the other day, wasn't there? Rumours of an old player of ours coming back.
Danny Ings. I'd have him back tomorrow. I really would. He's come out and said he wants to play for a Champions League club. I can't see Danny Ings going abroad. So it's obviously going to be whoever finishes in the top four. I mean, an interesting move for him if they get Champions League football probably be Leicester. That's the one I can probably see happening most because Vardy's still playing unbelievable, but he's 33, 34 now. So I think that would be an interesting move for him, going back with Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, he's a ready-made replacement for Vardy, really, isn't he? He's that same sort of off-the-shoulder type striker. So that will be a good move for Leicester and for him.
It's our system, but I feel there's rumours about Origi going to Leipzig on loan. I hope it's a loan to buy because we get shafted with loans. We've still got Karius on our books, and I don't.
No way.
Yeah, he's still a Liverpool player. He's on loan at Union Berlin and can't break into the first team, and they're like a mid-table team in Germany. So I do feel sorry for him in some ways because I feel as though I don't think he'll ever be confident in his ability again, but I just don't ever want to see him in a Liverpool shirt again. So.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, one thing I want to touch on with the United game was when we first seen the defence, I think a lot of Liverpool fans, me included, you included, everyone I spoke to really said, oh, not Henderson at centre-back again, because he's too good in the midfield. We're missing too much in the midfield when he played in centre-half, but especially when Cavani came on, because Henderson did get caught out a few times where he was very high up the pitch. He had a shot, I think, at one point from like 30 yards out, and I was just thinking, why are you there? You're a centre-half, get back. But he kept Cavani quiet, because when he came on, my heart sunk a little bit because we had touched on before the game saying about how well he actually has been playing and stuff. And when he came on, I was thinking, he caused havoc. When you watch the game, if you watch the game back, he caused absolute havoc. He made
himself busy. Yeah, he made himself busy and kept our defenders on the toes. And to be honest with you, the thing that bothers me most about having Henderson at centre-back is that means Thiago has to play that deeper role. I don't want him there.
Yeah,
I know he can do it, but I don't want him there. I want Henderson to be there so Thiago can be a bit freer.
I think this is a formation. I mean, Matip's meant to be playing tomorrow. We'll touch on that in a bit, but I feel as though the formation we played with 4-2-3-1 is something that Klopp might be doing now for the next few weeks because the 4-3-3 isn't working at the minute. And you could see in that game that United planned for us to go 4-3-3. And they just couldn't break us down, which I feel like that's what we needed. A clean sheet against Manchester United is always a plus, especially with a makeshift back four. We had basically two out-and-out defenders playing and then two midfielders playing. That was a clean sheet, was good. But when Cavani came on, he was just making himself a nuisance. He's a perfect striker, really. Any spills of a goalkeeper, he's there. He's just an absolute nightmare to play against. And we seen that within like 5 minutes from coming on. I was just thinking it's just going to happen because we said on the podcast eventually it'll stick with Cavani, and it did. So I think that's credit to Henderson and Fabinho, who, being brutally honest, I think Fabinho could stay at centre back next to Van Dijk when Van Dijk's back, even when Gomez is back. Because if you play Hendo in the holding role, I think Fabinho is. He's world class at centre half. I know he's the best central defensive midfielder in the world.
Yeah,
he easily gets into team. I mean, I think he has got into the team this season so far on Sky, but this season he's been world class at centre half. For someone who doesn't play there, should he stay there?
There's an argument for it. There's also an argument for him wanting to play midfield, which is his preferred position. And if he says, I want to play central midfield, then you throw the man in central midfield because otherwise you're going to lose him.
Yeah. I don't think anyone. Genuinely, the only players I think might leave Liverpool is Bobby and Salah. And you know what? I don't even think Genie would leave. Have you seen his comments today?
No.
He was saying something about when you play for a manager, it doesn't really get you. It can be difficult, but right now I'm playing for a manager who completely understands me, and I think I'm a complete midfielder under him. I can play anywhere. He understands my game, and to speak that highly of Klopp, I know all the players speak highly of him, but considering he's meant to be going to sit there and say, I am a complete midfielder under Jurgen Klopp, and I've never been that before, it makes me think that's like him calling Liverpool to say, like, I want to stay, just give me the deal.
Yeah.
But I think he needs to reduce his wage demands. He deserves 150 grand a week. But I can understand why the club don't want to give it over 4 years, because he'll be, 33 by the time 4 years comes up. So I can completely get it from the club's point of view. But if you lose Gini Wijnaldum, I feel like you lose a massive, not just player, character as well in the dressing room and stuff.
Yeah. He's all smiles, isn't he? He must lift that dressing room so much. He just has to walk in the room, and he seems like one of them people that he'll walk into a room and the room lights up, and everyone just like feeds off that aura that he's got.
I mean, obviously, when I touched on it with the podcast ago, when I met him, when I sold him a telly in Covey when I worked there, he honestly, obviously when you're selling a telly, it's not the size of telly he was getting. It wasn't just a matter he was it's an in and out job. So you sat down with them for about, I think I was with him for about 25 minutes, and he was just the most down to earth person you'd never expect. I mean, he'd only just signed, but you would never have expected him to be one of Liverpool's best ever players. Just sitting there next to you, just having a conversation with me. He was asking me like how long I'd worked there, asking me about like, because I told him I was a Liverpool fan and stuff like that, and he was just asking about like games I'd went to, me idols and stuff. We had like a boss conversation about Gerrard and stuff, and it was just, he's just so normal. And then obviously that's just around the people who he's famous with. Imagine with his own peers, you can see he's just a normal, down to earth fella, and I think I'll be devastated more so than when Torres left. I think I'll be more devastated if Gini goes. And Torres was my first, like.
I was going to say that's a bold statement, that, because when Torres left, that broke hearts. Like,
I will be heartbroken if Gini does go, though. I know he's going in the best steed, and he's not like forced his way out. He's trying to stay. I understand that, and I wouldn't be hurt from that aspect like I was with Torres. But knowing that you won't see them in the club shirt again, I was destroyed when Torres left. He was like, when I was growing up, my brother's idol was Fowler. That was like his era. Mine was like, first it was Owen, and then it was Torres. Because I mean, you had Barosh and Heskey and all that before that, but
they're not idols. Come on.
Yeah. Torres was like an idol. I worshipped the ground he walked on, to be honest with you. And then when he left, I was devastated. I remember on the day he left, going up to my room, and he had all these big Torres pictures and just ripping them off the walls. And that, the minute it come up on Sky, it was like 5 to 11, weren't it? It's like he's gone. I was devastated. But with Gini goes, I think I'll be as hurt as that.
Yeah.
I think he's that important to Liverpool. And some of the players, the only player we've been linked to that would excite me and would help heal the blow would be that aura from Leon. We've been linked with him now. The one who Arsenal.
Attacker midfield guy.
Yeah, he is. He's world class. I'd much rather him than Renato Sanchez to come and replace Gini Wijnaldum anyway. But
yeah,
I think Joss has proved we know nothing, and the club know everything in terms of how they buy players. But and also you should check out the Fowler podcast. He's done one with Klopp, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting, like listening to Klopp, and Fowler asks him what type of player he goes for, and he just says someone who works hard, and he isn't bothered about like technical ability, because he thinks he can improve that, which he does with most players. There's a few Boss Liverpool podcasts out there. I mean, I think Carragher done one with Robertson as well, which I listened to last night. That's really good. But Fowler's Fowler, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, Fowler was my idol growing up. I was lucky enough to see Ian Rush. So first it was Ian Rush, then Fowler come in, and Fowler's like another local lad, and I was like, that was my idol. Like,
yeah. I mean, mine was Stevie. Obviously, that's my era, isn't it? Like in terms of, I mean, there was. Fowler was speaking on Carragher's podcast about how good McManaman was. Now, I can't stand Steve McManaman because I don't remember Steve McManaman, the footballer. I remember him as an absolute arsehole who's up under. And plans to slate Liverpool. But Steven Gerrard is the best there is, the best there was, the best there'll ever be for me. Van Dijk comes in very, very close, though. He's different gravy. And speaking of him, I think he's going to be back the end of Feb.
Oh,
No one's put a date on it, but speaking to people who I know in terms of like physios, speaking to people who've played the game at Liverpool as well, they were saying like for him to be walking on grass doing kiki ups with just what looks like a plaster on where they've obviously done keel surgery this soon after tearing his ACL, either A, he didn't tear his ACL and it was a smokescreen just to see, so like make clubs think that we're done for the season, or B, he's just not human.
Well, we all know that. We all know he's not human. He's an absolute monster. And I can't wait. I just cannot wait to see him back.
I think he'll be a lot sooner than people think.
Because I wouldn't say we are defensively frail, although we're thin on players. Defence is not an issue. The thing about getting Van Dijk back is then releasing that midfielder who's playing in defence into the midfield, which releases the other midfielders to go before. I think it'll be like a butterfly effect, him coming in.
Thiago's like a quarterback. Van Dijk's like a quarterback. Van Dijk isn't, the way he plays football, defensively, he's the best central defensive defender in the world. But the way he plays football, he plays like a number 10.
He's just like classy, isn't he? He's so calm, composed. He can pick a pass.
He can open in one pass and stuff. And I think that's what we've missed most this season. I think where we were talking about the front three not firing, I think they're missing the delivery off Van Dijk, because if you look at, I'd say about a good chunk of Salah's goals has started from Virgil's 40-yard pass across the pitch.
And I'll tell you what else we miss of this as well is his aerial ability on corners.
Yeah. I just don't understand him.
When was the last time we scored from a corner without him?
I can't even. I think it might have scored. I don't know.
You know, and it's just that his presence just causes like unrest in their defence.
Speaking of corners, I do not understand Liverpool and set pieces in the dying minutes of a game. We spoke about it before, and they've done it again against United. This time, was it a free kick?
Yeah.
That he took short, and then the ref blew up, and I just don't understand it. At least if you cross her into the box, you can't blow up when everyone's going for a header. To play it short, you're giving them the opportunity to blow up, and that's 4 games now on the bounce we've done it, and I just don't understand it. I just can't wrap my head around why the last kick of the game, you're just not taking advantage of an attacking opportunity. I just don't get it.
I know, just lump it into the box. What's the worst that can happen? It comes back out and the ref blows his whistle. At least give yourself a chance.
Are you worried about looking ahead in a few weeks? Obviously, we're speaking about Van Dijk. We play City on the 7th of Feb. He's not going to be ready. If we don't buy anyone in January, that game worries me.
No.
Really not?
Really, because, as I said before, we've got United, we've got Tottenham, West Ham, Brighton, City. The defence isn't what worries me. We can cope defensively, mostly. It's the attacking threat that we need to worry about. Like we've shown against Man United there, we played with 2 central midfielders in central defence. Yet it's not ideal. Yet they're not the best in that position. Well,
Fabinho.
One of them is. Fabinho is, yeah. But that's not the issue. We're not coming away from games saying, oh, that was the defence was crap, the defence was crap. We're coming away from all the games saying the attack was crap and the referee was crap.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Not having Van Dijk there is not really a massive... Well, obviously it's a massive issue, but it's not an extra worry for me on top of anything else.
I think Van Dijk will be back for Everton.
Let's have a look.
20th of February.
That's soon.
I think he's going to be back in training from when we played Brighton, the last week of Jan, first week of Feb. The fact he's walking... Obviously... There's a long way to go before he can have contact training, but that's the next step. If he's playing on a pitch now with grass, that's a big step, a massive step. If you think back to when the Ox had his first bit of grass time, it was only a few weeks after that he was back. The fact he's playing on grass is massive, and he's in Dubai out the line, no pressure on him. I think he'll come back to Liverpool in a few weeks, and then I'd ideally want him back around that time because the second leg against Leipzig's the 10th of March. I feel like if we get him back for then, he's back then for the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Leeds away, United away, Southampton, Palace, the Champions League, the FA Cup.
We have got a tough run of games there. Like after that Leipzig game, we've got Wolves away. That's not easy.
Yeah.
Then Chelsea, Arsenal, Villa, Leeds, Newcastle. They've just done a number on us. You know what I mean?
If we can get Van Dijk back in and around the second leg of the Champions League, I believe we'll win the Champions League this year and potentially the FA Cup, obviously, but depending on what happens on Sunday. I don't know if the league is going to happen unless they literally turn it around tomorrow. I feel like tomorrow is such a big game. If we do not get a win tomorrow, there's teams are like 5-6 points ahead of us. City
just won. City are playing while we were talking. City have won, so United are playing now, aren't they?
Yeah, so City are...
Assuming United win, we can't catch either of them regardless of whether we win tomorrow or not. So we're in fourth either way.
We can't even go second because Leicester are on 38 points. So, I mean, yeah. So Leicester will be... If we win tomorrow, Leicester will be a point ahead of us. City will be 3 points ahead of us with a game in hand. United will be 3 points ahead of... No. Sorry, City will be 1 point ahead of the game in hand. United will be 3 points ahead. Leicester will be 1 point ahead. Yeah, and then obviously there's... I mean, it's very tight. It is very, very tight. So I wouldn't rule anybody out this year. I think the top four will still probably be Liverpool or City winning it, with then United and Everton. I don't think Leicester will get top four either, and I'm standing by Everton getting top four because they've got all their players back now.
Can you see Leicester falling off? I mean, we do say that Leicester fall off.
They always
playing really well, aren't they?
Yeah, they absolutely dominated last night. But I just don't think Brendan Rodgers has got the mentality to do it.
I'm worried about Leicester, I'll be honest.
Nah.
Look at like Vardy's flying, Maddison's flying. They've got.
If we don't win it, I would like Leicester to win it.
Yeah.
If we don't win it.
That Soyuncu can't even get a game because they've got Johnny Evans, who's like 48 years old and he's flying, and they've got that kid who they played last night. He's only like 17 or 18 or something.
And he's Austin, is it?
I can't remember, but no, I don't think it's that. But he's keeping that Soyuncu off the team, and he's a kid.
They're a good team, Leicester.
And DD's solid. Do you know what? They do concern me at the minute, Leicester.
I'd rather them win it out of City. If we aren't going to win it, I'd like Leicester to win it. Out of everyone else, I wouldn't mind them winning it because they don't really bother me. They're too far away to get any stick off the fans. I don't follow any of them on Twitter because they'll fall off again. They flopped in the Champions League last time they got into it. Brendan Rodgers isn't that good in the Champions League. I just don't care, to be honest, if they win it. It doesn't affect me at all because you haven't got City fans being able to say it into your United fans. As long as one of them three don't win it, I don't really care. As about Leicester, to be honest, but I don't think they'll win it. I still, if Liverpool aren't going to win it, I think it's City's to lose. Yeah, I think Liverpool will win the Champions League this year. But I'm not bothered if we don't win it because I seen something on Twitter the other day. Apparently this season, the Premier League have said it's going to be played behind closed doors till the end.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not really that bothered because when Leicester or whoever are parading their cup round and the world's back to normal, we'll be parading ours round. Yeah. It's going to be like we've won the league. I'd rather us win it again. If we're going to win it, say one more time, hopefully we win it loads. But I mean, if we're going to win it one more time under Klopp, I'd like it to be when the fans are in the stadium.
Absolutely. I think everyone will think the same.
Or we could just win it this year and next year just to make it easier.
Just tick all the boxes in it.
I've seen something before we come on as well. David Alaba, Liverpool actually offered him a deal and he rejected it.
He's going to Real, isn't he?
Yeah, 200 grand a week he's getting there. Well, apparently we did offer him a deal and he said no. But the most economic one for him in terms of, I don't know if we offered him more money, but we definitely did give him a good offer according to Fabrizio. That I can't even say his second name. But apparently offered him a very good offer, but it was his dream to play for Real Madrid. So I think we offered him more money, but he was pretty much set on going there. Pretty much, it's probably similar to like Suarez and Barca and stuff like that.
And I think a lot of our sort of wage structure is incentivized, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your basic rate is going to be less than you get at probably most of the top clubs around Europe. But then you've got your appearance fees,
we'll pay
progressive fees, all that.
More for certain players. Like I think Thiago's on good money. I think he's probably on as much as Salah.
Yeah.
So I think for the caliber of player you're getting, we probably would pay a bit more for certain players in terms of wages. But the biggest transfer rumor is apparently Mbappe is doable, which is mad.
Yeah. I mean, if we're getting Mbappe at the end of the season, I would just write this season off now. just finish it. We'll take fourth.
Yeah.
Get the Champions League. Come here, Kylian.
It makes sense though when like someone done a big thread of it on Twitter and was speaking about it, and the majority of his transfer fee would be paid by the money we'd make off the 20% off Nike in shirt fees. So I think Nike could probably pay the transfer fee and we wouldn't get shirt sale revenue off them until it's paid off, which would probably be about 7 or 8 months. So you're basically getting Mbappe for free. And then the shirt sales you sell after that would pretty much pay his wages. So Nike are basically funding Mbappe to come to Liverpool, which for them, it makes sense because Liverpool are a bigger club commercially than PSG. So they're going to sell more stuff with Mbappe's face on it. And they know how much Liverpool get behind players who are world class and behind any player really anyway.
Yeah.
So the fact that he could come in, I think there's no other option but then Salah will probably be going, given all the talk of he's not happy and stuff, but then he's come out and said he wants to win as many trophies as he can and stay for as long as he can. So
he's one of the top earners at the club though. So you've got to look at it.
Perfect switch really, innit? Because Mbappe plays more on the right for PSG where Salah is. The only because then ultimately I think so. I think he plays more right-sided. I don't really watch many PSG games. I'm just basing it off FIFA because he's... But PSG's not a team. To be fair, I watched them the other day when Poch had won his first cup, and they're proper terrible. I don't understand why people would play for them.
They're going to win the league pretty much every year because it's a crap league.
Yeah, there's no challenges really. But with Mbappe, if he came in, I can't see Mane going. Mane is our best player, hands down. Yeah, he's off the pace at the minute, but when everyone's firing, Sadio Mane is our best player.
He's our most dangerous player, for sure.
Yeah, so I'd want to keep him. So if you're keeping Salah, where does Jota fit into it? So one of them needs. I think Bobby, if Mbappe comes in, is gone. I think he's gone completely. Maybe he might stay as a bench player, and I think Bobby will probably be a bench player because he loves the city that much.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of if you have to move one of them on, I think Salah's the one that makes the most sense because you'll get the most money for Salah. He's the biggest. He is the biggest earner at the club. So you're swapping that for Mbappe.
Yeah. And then you've got to hope that. You've got to hope then that Mbappe replicates Salah's numbers, or better them.
I don't. You'd never know. He's only ever played in the French league. It's a massive risk, but he doesn't really turn up against big teams in the Champions League. But I think under Jurgen he had become something else. He's only 21, 22. He's a kid. At the end of the day, he's a world famous. He is going to be. He's going to win the Ballon d'Or.
He's the next Ronaldo / Messi, isn't he? Yeah,
he is. He's going to be the next one that wins the Ballon d'Or in consecutive seasons and stuff. Maybe Lewandowski be still playing, but I think that Mbappe is going to be the next best thing. And Phil Foden, which pains me to say, but I think they're the ones who, if I had to pick two people now who I think could win the Ballon d'Or in the next few years, well, three: Haaland, Mbappe and Foden is who I'd go with.
Foden's a bit out of left field, isn't he?
What? Just I've been that bored because of all this lockdown crap that I've watched pretty much most footy games in the Prem. Phil Foden is world class, honestly. I'm the first one to slag City players off, but I'm telling you now, Phil Foden will be one of the best people to have ever played the game. That good. He'll be better than David Silva in the Prem.
That's a massive shout.
He is world class. Probably controversial for a Liverpool podcast to be saying that, but Honestly, I'm not going to be biased around someone who's that good. Like, you've just got to appreciate. Like, I don't really like Ronaldo, but I appreciate how good he is. I don't really like Messi, but you appreciate how good he is. Phil Foden, I don't like him, but you've just got to appreciate he is going to be world class. He's that good. It makes the game easy.
Can you see him staying at City for his career as long as they stay fairly successful?
Yeah, because he's a Stockport lad. The only way he maybe might go is if Pep goes to Barca again, maybe, and takes him. But I don't know, because that's like Man City to him's like what Steven Gerrard was to Liverpool.
True.
So we could look at maybe, because a lot of midfield players who are English look up to Steven Gerrard. So we could look at it and see, like, well, how much he was adored for being a one club man. He's already won Everton bar the Champions League at them anyway. To be a one club man, you're just different gravy in the City. Like, Gerrard's idolised in this City. Idolised. Even like on Robertson's on the podcast with Carragher says, they were talking about how we hate Rangers being successful, but he's got to appreciate it for Stevie. And Carragher went, "Oh, is that an exclusive there? You don't like Steven Gerrard?" And he said, "Oh, I can't say that because he's probably going to be here one day." And that comment to me was like, he's the next manager. I know we all say it could be Pep Linders. I'd like it to be Nagelsmann, but it's going to be Gerrard.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Robertson said that would suggest that he thinks it could be soon, as in within his career at Liverpool as a player.
Yeah, Klopp. I reckon Klopp's got 2024 in it. For 4 more years, he's got. I think he's openly said he won't sign a new deal. That's if I think if he was to win the Premier League and Champions League this year, he might go, "I want a sabbatical." But I don't know if he would, because the opportunity to coach Kylian Mbappe is coming up. So why would you turn that down? It's hard. It depends. What year is the World Cup in? Is that next year? It is, isn't it?
22, yeah, next year.
Maybe then. Or he'll go till 2024, have a year sabbatical, then go to Germany and go for the 2028 World Cup. Yeah, but I think he'll end his career at Germany.
I was going to say, I can't imagine him extending his contract again with us. And it's devastating because what a guy, by the way. And you just wish he could go on forever, but you just know that that's not him.
Well, he'll be in my lifetime, I think, the longest serving manager by that time, because Julio done 5, I think, years or 6.
He stays till 2024. That's 9 years.
Yeah, so
that's a hell of a stretch for a manager in the current game.
Yeah, I think he probably. If he doesn't stay till 2024, it'll be around the Euros/World Cup if he was to go to Germany. But I completely wouldn't rule out him going to Stuttgart.
Is that his club, is it?
That's his team, yeah. He was born in Black Forest in Germany, so that's his team. So I wouldn't rule that out. But anyway, on to one more thing before we go on to the Burnley game. Have you seen Deggsy's comments yesterday?
Was it something to do with Van Dijk?
No, he'd seen Van Dijk, and then he obviously must have done an interview, and he said something about not playing at Liverpool, and he said, "But I think right now Liverpool misses me more than I miss them." And I was just thinking, we may be struggling, Deggsy, but I do not miss you. Not at all. Not 1 inch of my body misses Dejan Lovren. If he was fit, I still wouldn't play him. I'd play the kids.
I think he's been on this stuff.
Yeah.
I've just poured myself a glass of wine. I think Deggsy's been on it before me.
I couldn't believe it. Every time he opens his mouth, do you know what? We'll probably play Unbelievable now, because every time he opens his mouth, the opposite thing happens, doesn't it? Yeah, so, yeah. If you do happen to find this podcast, Deggsy, we don't miss you. Watch it. But anyway, on to Burnley. Is this the chance for Liverpool to get form back?
It absolutely has to be. It's got to be. Like, if we don't get 3 points out of this game, people will start losing their minds.
Well, the 17th, I think, in the league. Let me double check. Right.
Don't look at league position, because we've been out off by West Brom and Newcastle, and we've just absolutely got to get 3 points out of this game.
I mean, the start of the season, they were terrible. Really, really bad. They've got the team back. They've got like Tarkowski, me, and stuff like that back. In the last few games, West Ham only managed 1 goal past them, 1-0. United only managed 1-0. They beat Sheffield United, which is not hard. Leeds only managed 1-0.
They're going to come to Anfield and do whatever the other team has come. Sorry, we're playing them away, aren't we? They're going to go into that game and get behind the ball like every other team has in the past 3 or 4 weeks against us.
We're playing them at home tomorrow.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Not like we should be right. All right. Well, they're going to come to Anfield and just sit behind the ball, the same way every other team has the past few weeks, and sit back and go, "Come on, break us down, if you can." I just hope to God that we can do it. Like, I hope to God that Matip is back, so that then releases tension into the field.
I think it was only a day off playing against United, so I think he will be back. How long he plays is another question. But yeah, I'm not worried. I think we should beat them, but they've improved massively. Since the team's come back, they've improved, like the injuries they had, they've improved massively. I mean, the fact that for example, Leeds only getting 1 goal past them. Leeds usually absolutely either batter teams or get battered by teams. There's no in between with them. United only scored 1 past them. They beat Wolves in recent weeks. They beat them 2-1. They're a scrappy team. They're a Sean Dyche team.
They're better than their league position suggests, put it that way.
I mean, getting past Nick Pope's not easy either, because he's one of the best goalkeepers in the country.
Yes, and yeah, we've got, like, I can't stress this enough. We have absolutely got to get 3 points tomorrow, or whenever this goes out, Thursday. Right, we have got to get 3 points.
100%.
No ifs, buts, and maybes. Where's that guy with his absolutes? We have absolutely got to get 3 points.
If we don't get 3 points tomorrow, we aren't going to win the league. I mean,
it's going to be very difficult.
Well, if United win tonight, they'd be 6 points clear of us. If we got, say, for example, hypothetically, we got beat tomorrow.
Fulham are winning 1-0 against United after 5 minutes.
Who?
Luchman scored against them.
Fulham are turned out to be a decent team. To be honest, I'm standing by Sheffield United, West Brom and Brighton going down.
Okay.
But yeah, in terms of Burnley, then they're probably going to play Nick Pope, Charlie Taylor. I think I'm right. Yeah, I can't even think who they play now.
Play Tarkowski, don't they, at the back?
It's Savosky and Ben Mee at the back. I can't think who's right and left of them. I think it's Goten and Charlie Taylor, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no players there that stand out. I mean, Ashley Barnes can be good on his day, so can Chris Wood. And they've got like that Matty Ste, but they haven't got that good of a team, really. Jay Rodriguez probably maybe the standout player for them.
They haven't got anyone there with massive amounts of quality. They've got a squad full of alright players who are grafters.
Yeah.
And they've got no like superstars or no particularly.
Not yet.
Yeah, they got no particularly flair type players or anyone who's gonna. Got no Sadio Mane, put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if Sean Dyche stays, if the new owners keep him, how much money they do spend, because obviously they can't go and spend massive because financial fair play would have took a massive effect during the pandemic because they've had no fans. And I think it got relaxed a bit. But I think if they come in and spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds, it'd get flagged up. But I don't know how to think about the game tomorrow, really. I don't know. I feel as though it could either end up being a scrappy 1-0, a 0-0, or it'll be like the Palace game where we just turn up and absolutely dominate them.
Yeah, I think you've covered all possible options there, to be honest with you. You haven't left much to chance, have you?
No, but it depends what Burnley turns up. If they come in, I think we need to try and feel like playing 4-2-3-1 is the best bet against them, because they're going to again plan for a 4-3-3 to play against us how West Brom Big Sam got that formula and just said to everyone, this is how you get a result against Liverpool, and everyone's just copied it. I feel as though with Burnley, I don't know. I just don't. It's one of them games that I just don't know.
I would put my mortgage on them turning up and putting 10 men behind the ball.
Yeah, they will, but we've got to break that down now.
Yeah. I think it'll be slightly easier with Matip coming back.
Who do you reckon will play? Do you reckon we'll do 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1?
Probably. I think we'll go back to 4-3-3, to be honest with you, if Matip's back. I think it'll be Alisson in goal, Trent, Fabinho, Matip, Robertson. Then you'll have Henderson as the defensive midfielder, Thiago, Wijnaldum, Mane, Firmino, probably. I'm saying Firmino probably because I can't see him putting Minamino in there, but it's going to be Firmino/Minamino and then Salah. That's the only one I'm not sure about, that centre forward place.
I think it'll be I'm trying to think now. Alisson, Trent, Matip, Fabinho, Robertson, Hendo. Is Naby back?
I don't think he made the bench for the last game, did he? So I wouldn't imagine he'd be ready for the start.
I reckon it'll be Thiago and the Ox.
All right, okay. You're not putting your mate Curtis in?
I don't know, because he was the first sub against United.
I know, yeah.
So he is fully in the first team setup. Then I'm going to go Mane. No, I'm going to go Mane, Salah, Shaqiri.
You want Salah down the middle, yeah?
Yeah, I think he'll drop Bobby. Do you know what? I feel as though if he plays anything but that team, he's stupid. Because I think it's not working at the minute for Bobby.
But that makes me think he's going to play Bobby, because that's kind of what Klopp does. You look at the players who've been going through some poor runs of form.
But wouldn't you give Shaq a run out down the right where he's...
Absolutely Shaq deserves it. He does. But I feel like Klopp tries to give his players as much opportunity to play their way back into form as he can.
Maybe
now, whether that time's up for Bobby.
Maybe play Hendo Holden with Thiago and Bobby in midfield, and then play Shaqiri, Mane, and Salah up front. But if he goes 4-2-3-1, I reckon it probably would be Bobby then.
Yeah.
Because he'll probably have the back four, Hendo and Thiago Holden, with Bobby in front of them, with Mane, Salah, and Shaqiri in front of him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 4-2.
You've missed the striker out.
Yeah, no, so you have the back four, Hendo, Thiago, then your three would be Mane, Bobby, Shaqiri, and then your one would be Salah.
Salah up top, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's an option, like, yeah.
I'd like to see that, to be honest. Maybe Bobby playing more of a central midfield role, because you never know. He's lost his touch in front of goal, but he's still unbelievably good on the ball.
Yeah,
to the point he could play central midfield. He was more deeper at Hoffenheim before we signed him, I think, when he's a cam, but I think he played quite deep, more like towards the central.
I think Shaqiri absolutely deserves a start, but I didn't put him in my team because I very rarely get it right.
He started against United, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
It's weird though, innit, with Shaq. I don't understand it. Like, why is he being off it for like a year, just not even making the bench, and then he'll play a few games, and then it feels as though Klopp goes, "No, I don't want you now," and just subs him off again for. I think last year he only played 6 games all year. He's played 50 games for Liverpool in 4 years, 4 years.
Do you reckon he just bounces around training and he's just an annoying little knobhead? And he just does Jurgen's head in?
Was it Crouch who said that? He's like a really bad trainer.
Oh, yeah, he did when he was at Stoke, because he was the superstar at Stoke, wasn't he?
So that's the thing. He's an absolute icon in Switzerland. when you look at his honours, though, he's won the Champions League twice, the Club World Cup twice, he's won the Premier League, he's won the Super Cup twice, he's won the...
Ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very well-decorated player, so rightfully so, he's cocky. Rightfully so. But he's only 29, so he's in his peak.
Yeah.
And maybe he's finally just given to working how Klopp wants him to rather than how he wants to, because it does feel as though this season he's well established in the setup. He's always on the bench. He doesn't always get on, but he's always on the bench, or he's there or thereabouts this year, more so than I can remember ever seeing him. The fact
he's in and around that first team squad.
Well, that United game was
most of the time.
I honestly can't remember Shaq playing 50 games for us.
That includes sub appearances, though.
Yeah, but still, I can't remember him coming on the pitch 50 times. But he has. Yeah, what do you reckon on scores then?
2-0. 2-0. I can see Mane double.
I'm going to go 3-1 with a Salah hat-trick.
It's over to you, let's be honest.
Yeah. If he doesn't get a hat-trick, he'll get 2 and Mane will get 1. But then I don't know, I feel as though I don't think Burnley are ready for how good Thiago Alcantara is. I don't think they understand. I don't think any team understands until you play against them just how good he actually is.
Have you heard the comments that Didier Mans come out and said?
About him playing, saying he was never the first team sheet and he's too slow.
No. Yeah, he's too slow. It's like,
Didier Mans can talk like he's Usain Bolt. He was one of the slowest. I mean, the Kaiser was different gravy, but I think since he's left the team, he's just been since he's left the club, he's just been a bit of a tosser, to be honest. He just, every time he speaks, I just think, it's like McManaman, but I could never have any badness in my heart for Diddy, because he was so good, so he made me fall in love with. When I used to I wasn't the best at football, but I used to want to be a midfielder because of Gerrard and Hammam and Alonso and Mascherano. But Hammam was like, I remember him in Istanbul. He was different gravy when he came on and that. And
look, and the guy was an absolute lunatic as well, by the way.
Yeah, proper German football. I loved him, but since he's retired, he's a twat.
Yeah.
But him saying that Thiago wasn't the first name on the team sheet for Bayern. You know, when he was at Bayern, he didn't lose a game when he played, and when he didn't play, he got beat.
Yeah.
So obviously he was one of the first names on the team sheet. That's why they tried to offer him a new deal, and he said no.
I think we're going to see next level Thiago against Burnley, because he's going to be in that slightly more advanced role. So I think after he got that booking, I think there was a little bit took off his game.
Yeah. And
he only got that booking, I think, because of the deeper position he was in. I can't remember how he got booked, but the deeper you are, the more likely you are to foul an opposition player and get booked. Yeah.
He managed the game fantastically, though. I honestly think he was going to get sent off, to be honest. I was very surprised that he didn't come off for Jones.
I thought he was going to come off at half-time, to be honest with you, because he was walking the tightrope with that, leading up to half-time.
He was well in. That's what I like to see, though, throwing tackles. And I was like, yeah, you're scouting out. But yeah, hopefully when we speak after Burnley, we can finally speak after a win. We haven't won since Palace, apart from the Villa's kids, but we haven't won since the Palace game.
We need a win. And if we don't win, we're not. I'm giving up. That's it.
Yeah, we'll speak on Saturday, probably before the United game part 2. And discuss this game, but hopefully we just see a goal. To be honest,
that would be nice.
Yeah, nice one for everyone for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like the podcast, leave comments, share it to your mates. Massively appreciated. The views now are doing really, really well, so loving it. But yeah, up the fucking Reds.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, leave any old comments. Just throw something in. Throw a thumbs up. Throw anything. Yeah, just keep coming.
Algorithm is mad. You've got to like it and share it and comment it for it to be seen in other people's inboxes. You may think you're not doing anything by commenting, but it absolutely massively helps the podcast. So please do that. Yeah. I can see all you people watching it and not even liking it and subscribing. I can see all the analytics. I think is that the word. Yeah, I can analyse it. But yeah, nice one for everyone for spending the time of the day to watch it anyway. But yeah, up the Reds.
Up the Reds.